Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, Jell-O again. No, this is not an episode of the Jell-O program. It's the Jack Benny program, which was sponsored by Lucky Strike cigarettes, but we're not supposed to talk about them. This was originally broadcast the last season of the show, January 16th, 1955. If it sounds familiar, it's kind of a reused script, but you got Mel Blanc in it, which makes it even better.
Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Rochester, Dennis Day, Bob Crosby, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to bring you that...
Hold it, Don. Jack isn't here.
Well, gee, I just saw him a few minutes ago. Where is he?
He just went in that other room to talk to his writers. Oh, boy, is Jack burned up.
Oh, boy, those two guys get away with murder. They never have a program written till the last minute.
Well, I'm going in and see what's happening. Gee, he's always having trouble with his writers.
Now, look, fellas. If I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. You've got to have the program written before we go on the air. Every week, we just barely make it. Now, today, look what happens. No script at all.
Well, what are you worried about?
Yeah, it's only Friday.
It's not Friday, it's Sunday. And there's no excuse for you guys not knowing it. I gave both of you calendars for Christmas. I knew this would happen someday.
Well, we were stuck this week.
Yeah, we didn't have no inspiration.
Oh, you didn't?
Don't yell at me, I'll fly to pieces.
I'm not yelling, I'm just asking you to work, that's all. You're working for me, I'm paying you to work.
And that's another thing. We want more dough.
Well, you certainly picked the right time to ask me. You're getting plenty now. Why do you want more money?
We want to get a room tonight.
Now, listen, will you cut that out? A fine team of writers I've got. I've been looking for you all week. Where were you?
Palm
Springs.
You're not supposed to be in Palm Springs. You're supposed to be here with me.
Come on, Jack, we're waiting for you.
Mary, I'll be there in a minute. Now, look, fellas.
Hey, who's a dame?
That's Mary Livingston. And she's not a dame. You've met her at least 400 times.
Oh, yeah, that's the girl we write for, Harry.
You're Harry. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jack Benny. I'm glad to know you. Now, listen, fellas.
Jack, you better hurry up. Let Gilbert and Sullivan alone.
I told you, Mary, I'll be there in a minute.
Okay.
And stop whistling at her. Now, look, fellas, we're on the air, so I'm going out and do the best I can. Meanwhile, you stay right here and prepare some kind of a play for us.
Yeah, okay. Hey, how about a murder mystery?
A murder mystery?
Hey, you know, where a guy comes home and he finds his wife in the arms of another man.
The husband says, "No, I got you."
Why, Julius, what are you doing here?
You know what I'm doing here. I didn't go to Scranton at all.
Julius, put down that gun!
Look, boy.
Bang, 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 bang,
Boy.
bang, 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 bang.
Wait a minute! That'll be fine. Write it up. Write anything. Just so we can have a program. Now bring it in as soon as possible.
Okay. Give me the pencil, Harry.
Well, you got it, Sam. I gave it to you yesterday.
No, I give it back to you.
Yeah, but after that, I put it in your
Here,
pocket.
use my pencil. For heaven's sake, use my pencil. Just get started. Now go to work. Darn those guys. They go to Palm Springs and I have no broadcast.
What's the matter, Jack? You having trouble with your writers again?
Yeah, Don, every week they're getting lazier. Now tonight, no material at all.
Well, why don't you fire them?
He can't. They dug up a photograph of Jack when he was in the 3rd grade.
What's wrong with that?
He was the only kid with a mustache.
With just fuzz, you could hardly see it. Anyway, that picture has nothing to do with my writers. If this ever happens again, I will fire them.
Well, Jack, if there's no script, what do we do now?
We'll just have to stall. Say, Bob, how about a number from the boys in the band?
Okay, but I'll need a couple of minutes to round them up.
Oh, for heaven's sake, what's the matter with those fellas? The minute the introduction is over, they always disappear.
Well, they don't have to play again unless Dennis sings a song, and they get kind of restless sitting around on the bandstand.
Oh, that's too bad. I want them on the stage throughout the show. Where are they?
Well, some of them are at that little bar across the street. And Bagby and Fletch and Kurtz, Bridwell and Sammy the drummer are backstage in a gin game.
5 of them? How can 5 play gin?
Oh, Sammy doesn't play. They use his head to keep score on.
They use his head to keep score?
Yeah, after a long game, it looks like he's got hair.
I was wondering what that was.
Once they used a red pencil, and I mistook him for Rita Hayworth.
Bob, I hate to be a spoil sport, but I wish you'd get the boys back on the stage.
It is a shame, Bob. Look, Frankie Remley's the only one on the stand.
That's right. And you know why? Because Frankie takes an interest in the show. He's the only one of the whole bunch who's loyal and dependable and always on the job.
Well, I'll wake him up and tell him that.
He's asleep? But his eyes are open.
Oh, Jack, don't tell me that trick of his has you fooled, too.
What trick?
He's got pupils painted on his eyelids.
Gee, he must have taken a lot of trouble with them. They're bloodshot and everything. But, kids, this isn't solving our problem. What can we do to fill time till the script is ready?
Well, Jack, you ought to be able to do something. After all, you're the star of the show.
But, Don, it's not that easy. I don't sing, I don't dance, I've never done imitations. Gee, I don't know what to do now.
If it wasn't Sunday, you could take your money to the bank.
Very funny, Miss Livingstone.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hi, Dan.
Hey, what's everyone standing around for?
Because we got a problem, Dennis. My writers let me down this week. We got no script, no jokes, nothing.
What's the difference? Who listens?
Hey, wait a minute, Dennis. There are still millions of people listening to radio. It's still a big medium. More radios were sold this year than ever before. And anyone who's on a big show like this is still doing a very important job.
Boy, did you sing a different tune when you cut my salary last September.
I didn't cut your salary. You're still getting $80 a week like you did last year.
Yeah, but what about that new clause you added?
What new clause?
The one that says a week is 14 days.
Jack, how could you actually make Dennis sign a contract that has 14 days in a week?
Because when he's around, it seems that long.
My lawyer said the same thing.
Naturally. Now, look, Dennis, as long as we're stuck without a script, how about doing your song now?
Hey, I got a better idea. Why don't you and I ad-lib a little? You know, to and fro.
Ad-lib, huh? To and fro. All right, Dennis, I'll start it. Who was that lady I saw you with last night?
That was no saw. That was a battle axe.
Some ad-libbing. You... Come in.
Telegram to Mr. Benny.
Right here, fella. Thanks.
Give him a tip, Jack.
Oh, yes. Here you are, buddy. Say, you're rather old for a messenger boy, aren't you?
You ain't gonna get the mumps anymore yourself, bub.
And I had to give him a 50-cent tip.
You gave him a dime.
I gave him a quarter. I know what I gave him. Wonder who this telegram's from. Oh, it's from Fred Allen. Gee, I haven't heard from him in a long time. It says, Dear Jack, have been listening to your show and have a suggestion that may help you fill remaining 20 minutes. Why not announce your retirement and let the audience take it from there? What a silly suggestion.
Yeah, they'd applaud right through Amos and Andy.
Never mind. I'm going out and see how my writers are coming along. If they're stalling, believe me. Look, fellas, I know it's a good title for a murder mystery, but where's the play?
Well, we got a lot of ideas, but we couldn't write them down.
Why not? I gave you a pencil.
Yeah, but there ain't no lead in it, say?
Oh, there ain't no lead in it. Give me that pencil. Look, fellas, you turn this little knob here and out comes the lead. It's an automatic pencil.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, Sam, you turn this knob and the lead comes out.
Hey, that's good. Let me turn it.
No, I want to turn it.
Come on, just one.
I've turned it already. Well, give me back the pencil. Here's a pen. You don't have to turn it or anything. Now, please write that mystery play, will you, fellas?
Okay.
Boy, if I ever get my hands on that picture, I'll fire them so fast they won't know what hit them. Well, Don, it'll be a few more minutes yet.
What'll we do?
I don't know what to talk about.
Me neither.
You know, I think Fred Allen's idea has merit.
Oh, be quiet, Dennis. I'm having enough trouble as it is. I don't know what to do.
Well, you're such a great comedian. Why don't you ad-lib something?
Well, you're right, I will. You know, folks, a funny thing happened to me on the way to the studio. A panhandler came over to me and asked me for a quarter. He said he hadn't had a bite in 2 weeks.
So you bit him.
So I... Barry, I'm supposed to do the ad-libbing.
That's the oldest joke in the world.
All right, all right.
Say, Jack, as long as we're waiting for the script, how about the sportsman doing a number?
The Sportsman Quartet, they have anything prepared?
I'll ask him. Say, fellas, would you like to do your arrangement for Jack?
Oh, swell.
They said no.
They did not! Now, go ahead, fellas. Hold it a second. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, I'm having a lot of trouble here. What is it?
Well, boss, I've been rearranging those antiques on the living room mantel, and I was wondering about that yellow vase.
Oh, keep that in the middle, Rochester. I'm very proud of that vase.
You are?
Yeah, there are only 2 vases like that in the entire world. And the only ones who have them are the King of Siam and me. Or is it the King and I?
It's the king and the junk man. I just busted yours.
Well, Rochester, that was very expensive. I'm going to deduct it from your salary.
Oh, boss.
Don't boss me. I'm going to teach you a lesson.
For what your lessons have cost me, I could have gone to Harvard.
I don't care. You shouldn't be so clumsy.
Well, boss, it's really your fault.
My fault?
Yeah, that new schedule you put me on has me rushing around like crazy.
What do you mean?
Well, take this morning. I got up and had 15 minutes to make the beds and clean the entire upstairs. 20 minutes to wash and iron your clothes. A half hour to polish the silver, wash the windows, scrub the walls, and beat the rugs. And by 9 o'clock, I was in the kitchen on my hands and knees.
Oh, were you waxing the floor?
No, I fainted.
You fainted. How long were you out?
10 minutes, and if you deduct that from my salary, I'm quitting.
Don't be silly, Roch. I'm having enough trouble without you aggravating me.
What's the matter?
Well, my writers are late with the script, and I'm standing here with nothing to do.
Too bad I'm not there.
Well, what could you do?
Sing, boss, sing.
You sing with that voice?
Don't knock it. Around Central Avenue, I'm known as that sentimental fellow with the mellow bellow. I even sang once with the Hall Johnson Choir.
What happened?
Johnson threw me out in the hall.
I thought so. Well, I'll talk to you later. So long, Rochester.
Goodbye.
From January 16th, 1955, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater.
Our U.S. Constitution is amazing. It's full of what's called negative rights, designed to protect us from the corrupt powers of a dictatorship.
Like our right to worship our own God, not some official state religion.
Our right to prevent the government from seizing our property without paying fair market value for it.
Or our right to be tried by a jury of our peers, people like us, not by some star tribunal.
And that's why America has become the richest, most just society in the world.
Other countries force so-called positive rights onto their citizens. These enable one group to take from another group their free speech, money, and choice by using government force. Socialists love wielding this power over people.
Sometimes we take our freedoms for granted, but we can lose our Bill of Rights and our Constitution and become like Venezuela or North Korea, failed, brutal socialist regimes.
We need your help to spread the good news about our amazing U.S. Constitution. Help us take back America. Go to ouramericanrights.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Classic radio theater on your favorite station. Now more of the Jack Benny program, January 16th, 1955.
Look, fellas, what kind of writers are you anyway? Look at this page. That word is murderer, not moiterer.
Well, a gangster would say murderer.
Well, I'm not a gangster. I'm supposed to be a police captain in this. Read your own script. Now, fellas, it's time for our play, so I'll take what you've got and you bring the rest in as soon as you can. Now, give me those pages.
Please give me those pages.
All right, please give me those pages. Now, concentrate, will you, fellas? Fine thing. Drama on the installment plan.
Well, how's it look, Jack? We going to do a play tonight?
Yeah, but we'll have to do without a rehearsal. Here are your parts, kids. Now, let's see. I'm going to be Captain O'Benny of Police Headquarters, and Dennis, you'll be my assistant, Sergeant O'Day.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, welcome. Now, Mary, you're going to be the widow, Mrs. J. Malcolm Smith.
The widow?
Yes. Your husband has been killed, leaving you $3 million, an estate in Santa Barbara, and a yacht. And you're all broken up.
Why, does the yacht leak?
No, you loved your husband. Now, let's see. Oh, Bob, you'll be the family chauffeur, and Don, you're going to be the bugler.
Bugler?
Oh, they must mean butler, some writer. Boy, what writers I've got. You're the butler, Don. Well, so much for casting. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction this evening, we present an original mystery drama entitled The Murder of Malcolm Smith, or He Had an Appointment with the Dentist in the Afternoon, but He Was Drilled in the Morning. Well, say, it's not such a bad title. I think I'll get the boys a room tonight. Well, let's go, fellas. The opening scene is the office of Detective Captain O'Benny at Police Headquarters. Curtain. Music. Wait a minute, Bob, wait a minute. Is this the theme music for a murder mystery? Mighty Like a Rose?
Well, that's what your writers gave me.
Maybe that's the name of the murderer.
Who, Rose?
No, Mighty.
Be quiet. Well, okay, Bob, play what they gave you. Start it again, will you? Hey, Sergeant O'Day. Sergeant O'Day.
Yes, sir.
Did you answer the burglar alarm at the First National Bank?
Yes, sir.
Or were there any suspicious characters around?
No, the furniture movers told me they hadn't seen anybody.
Furniture movers?
Yeah, the two fellas with the safe.
Those were the burglars. What's the matter with you anyway? I'll take it. Hello, Police Headquarters.
Hello, this is Mrs. J. Malcolm Smith talking.
Yes?
My husband, J. Malcolm Smith, wealthy stockbroker of New York, Palm Beach, and Miami, heir to the millions left by his father, has been killed.
That's shocking news, Mrs. Smith. Are you sure your husband is dead?
Definitely.
We'll be there in 5 minutes. Goodbye.
What's up, Chef? Chief?
That's the way they wrote it. J. Malcolm Stock, the Smith broker, has been murdered. They can't even type straight. Hand me my gun.
Shall I take the bayonet off?
Of course. I only use it to roast marshmallows. Also, take that accent off. Now, let's get going. This is an important case, Sergeant O'Day, and we're going to find the murderer of J. Malcolm Smith or
what?
Or nothing. We're all out of script. Hey, fellas, hurry up with the rest of this, will you? Play something, Bob. Fine writer. They couldn't even finish a sentence. Hold it, Bob.
Here's a few more pages, Jack.
Thank. Now go back and get to work.
We got a union, you know. We're going out to eat.
Not until you finish the script.
Okay, Blue Eyes.
Even my writers noticed them. Now, let's see. Oh, yes. This is an important case, Sergeant O'Day, and we're going to find the murderer of J. Malcolm Smith, or my name ain't Captain O'Benny. I could have thought of that myself. Let's go. Wait till we get in the car.
Oh, what a mess. January 16th, 1955, the final season of the Jack Benny program, right here on Classic Radio Theater. Well, you've heard me talk about Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and how his pillow's given me a great night's sleep. He continues to roll out new offers on his products. His latest on the towel sets. Now, towels aren't something you think about. I never knew what I was missing till I tried the towels last year. You've all helped build MyPillow into the incredible company it is today, and trust in Mike Lindell has given you a better night's sleep. Mike's now changing the game with a 6-piece towel set, USA cotton, extremely absorbent, yet still providing that soft feel you look for in a towel. 2 bath, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths for a limited time, $39.95. Using our promo code USA, it retails for over $100. Remember, all MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio Listener Square, use this promo code USA to get this price of $39.99 on the towels, or call 1-800-951-8175. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. Jack Benny made a lot of money moving from NBC to CBS, but in the end, he would go back to NBC because CBS in the television era didn't treat him very good. The conclusion now, the Jack Benny program, January 16th, 1955.
Stupid sound man. All right, get in, O'Day. I'll drive. Here we are, O'Day. Come on, open the door. This is the police. Open up or we'll break it down. Come on, O'Day, let's smash that door.
Good evening, gentlemen. Did you ring?
Where's Mrs. Smith?
In the library. Whom shall I announce?
The king and the junk man.
Oh, be quiet.
Here she is now.
Pardon me. Are you Mrs. J. Malcolm Smith?
Yes, Captain.
Tell me, what do you know about the murder of your husband?
Well, we were sitting here in the library listening to the radio when all of a sudden I turned around and there was my husband on the floor with 5 bullet holes in him.
You're lying. Here's a body, and he was only shot 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Now count them.
All right, O'Day, count the bullet holes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's his mouth. Everybody has one of those. Now, Mrs. Smith, I want the truth. You killed your husband, and I know why. You murdered your husband because... Oh, fine, we're stuck again. All right, Bob. embarrassing. Hold it, Bob. Hold it. All right, boys, some more pages.
Here you are, Speedy.
Thanks. Let's see here. Oh, yes. Now listen, Mrs. Smith. You murdered your husband because there's another man in the case. Now tell me, who's your lover? Who is he?
Well, what's going on here?
Hello, darling.
Who are these men?
They're detectives, darling.
Aha, the other man. What's your name?
My card, sir.
Darling Crosby. What's your connection with this family?
I'm the chauffeur.
I see. How'd you get along with Mr. Smith?
Don't answer him, dear.
Dear, eh?
That's my middle name.
Are you taking everything down, Sergeant O'Day?
Yeah, honey.
That's my middle name. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, now you. You still haven't told me how you got along with Mr. Smith.
Well, frankly, sir, we didn't get along very well.
You didn't, eh?
He's been very suspicious of Mrs. Smith and me ever since she hired me for her chauffeur.
Well, what made him suspicious?
She didn't have a car.
I thought so. Now, one of you two is responsible for the murder of J. Malcolm Smith.
Yeah, but which one? You can't arrest both of us.
Don't get smart with me. I know who the murderer is. It's... Oh, for Pete's sake. Hey, fellas!
What do you want?
What do I want? I want the finish of the play. I want to know who the murderer is.
Oh, that's what we're arguing about.
Arguing?
Yeah, I say it's the dame.
And I say it's got to be the chauffeur.
But, fella...
Sam, how can you be so stupid? Look at the motives. The motives. The dame had all the motives.
Motives. So you learned a new word. I still say it's a chauffeur.
But if he didn't have any
You
motives...
keep out of there.
Yeah, if it wasn't for you, we'd be in Palm
Springs.
Look, fellas, what
Look, Harry, for once in your life, admit you're wrong.
But I'm not wrong. It's always the dame. Didn't my wife try to kill me?
Look, boy.
Yeah, and I'm sorry she missed.
Fella.
Sorry. Oh, now I get it. You're the guy she's been going around with.
But, Harry...
And all the time I thought it was the chauffeur.
Hey, now, wait a minute. I don't even know your wife.
Now, what are you going out with her for?
Yeah, what's your motive?
Fellas, you're on the wrong murder case. You know, I'm your boss. And once and for all, I want you to know that from now on, if the scripts aren't here on time, you're out. Both of you.
Ah, shut up.
Look, I don't need you guys. I can ad-lib. Ladies and gentlemen, a funny thing happened on the way to the studio. A panhandler came over to me and asked me for a quarter. He said he hadn't had a bite in 2 weeks.
So you bit him.
Oh, nuts. I'm going home. Ladies and gentlemen, it's alarming to think that a destructive fire starts every minute of the day and night. There's no end in sight for the terrible destruction caused by these fires unless we do something about it. Here's what you can do. Check all the electrical equipment in your home. Make certain it is safe. Don't smoke in bed. Be sure that every match, every cigarette is out before you retire for the night. Don't give fire a place to start. Thank you.
Who's there?
It's me, Rochester. Boy, what a day. Our writers didn't have a script for me. The show was crazy. All the Yorkshire could play was Mighty Like a Rose. And on top of all that, I tipped a telegraph boy a quarter, and he turned around and insulted me. I feel awful.
Boss, look in the mirror.
Huh?
Look in the mirror.
Well, I'll be darned. I've got the mumps. Good night, folks.
January 16th, 1955, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if, like a lot of people, you just have a plan you're not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. It's a Christian healthcare sharing program. There are more than 400,000 members now, and they love it. In fact, Medishare has double the customer satisfaction rate compared to that of health insurance. And Medishare really is the gold standard when it comes to healthcare sharing. It's been around more than 25 years. Members have shared more than $4 billion of each other's medical bills. Plus, Medishare is for you. It has saved its members billions by advocating on their behalf. Best of all, the typical savings for a family is around $6,000 a year. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. Medishare has a 98% customer satisfaction rating, and you are invited to be part of it. Call now. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, an episode of the soap opera Claudia. This originally broadcast January 16th, 1948.
Are we almost there, David?
Just about. Excited?
Of course, terribly. Fritz and Bertha thought the house sounded wonderful. Will Roger be there?
He's probably waiting for us now.
Oh.
We're a little off schedule.
Will anybody else be there?
Mr. Tucker, of course. Wait till you see him. He's a lollipaloozer of an old codger. I think he must be at least 100.
100?
Well, maybe 90.
90's old enough. You don't have to exaggerate. Is he really 90?
Well, maybe 80 then.
Oh, I'll probably find he's 38 and looks like 20.
You'll find nothing of the sort. You'll find an old New Englander with one tooth in his head who's as gnarled as the brambliest bush on his place and as stubborn as the biggest oak. When you meet Mr. Tucker, you'll know how this country managed to get settled. He's quite a guy.
I don't see how a man like that could own a beautiful house with a brook and meadows and barns and things.
No, he owns it all right. Has for generations, all his.
Oh, I wish we were there. I wish we were there.
You're really pleased about this, aren't you?
Pleased, I'm busting.
Darling, are you really serious about wanting to move to Eastbrook, or are you just curious about seeing this house?
Well,
No, it's all right. I know. You're just curious. But once you see the place, you'll get just the way I am.
I hope so. It must be a beautiful house, darling, with tall trees and old stairways. How big is it?
Big as you want it to be, and every inch authentic.
This is almost as exciting as having a baby. Except a baby takes months and months, and a house takes just a few minutes. Which side will it be on?
This side. What do you think of the country around here?
Fine. It's sort of wild, though. Nobody else seems to be living in the neighborhood.
Of course not. It's farmland.
Oh. David, look at the cow.
That's not a cow, it's a bull.
How can you tell?
Well, just try milking her.
Oh. What's the matter? We running out of gas?
You goop, we're here.
Is this it?
It is, and there's Roger. Hey, Roger!
Hello, David. About time you got here. How do you like the way it looks today?
Marvelous. And we weren't wrong, Roger. I wouldn't touch that entrance.
It's a crime to even paint it. Be right with you. Just want to look at these eaves here a minute.
Claudia, close your mouth, darling. You look like a guppy fish.
I do?
Well, what do you think of it? Is it the way you pictured it?
Well, not exactly.
No?
I thought it would set farther back from the road.
All old houses are close to the road, darling.
Is that good or bad?
Good. You'd have to be plowed out in a snowstorm if you weren't near the road.
David, it's awfully shrubby here, isn't it? There isn't any lawn at all.
Of course not. It's the best kind of farmland.
Oh. House looks littler than I thought.
Well, it's deceptive from this view. Well, do you want to go inside or look around outside?
I just want to stand here and look at it. Do you mind, David?
Mind? I should say not. The first time I saw it, it took my breath away, too. You stand here and look at it as long as you like.
Thank you.
I'll be inside with Roger. Say, you better let Bluff out of the car. That dog's so darn quiet, I keep forgetting him, except when he knocks me down. See you later, darling. Hey, Roger.
Come on, Bluff, out you get. Hello there, Bluff. Well, what do you think? It's like an old matchbox to me, with windows and a roof, doesn't it? I wouldn't live in a house like that if it were raining out. Would you? Oh,
Morning there, ma'am.
Oh, good morning.
Marring the house, eh?
Well, not exactly.
I sure do hate to sell it. Matter of fact, I've been ruminating it in my mind not to sell it.
Oh, then you're Mr. Tucker.
Jared Tucker, ma'am, at your service.
I'm Mrs. Norton. Hello.
Your husband there sure took a shine to my old place. His eyes lit up real bright when he seen it. He knows a piece of property when he stumbles onto it, he does. Yes,
My husband is an architect.
This house was built, there wasn't no architects necessary. It just got itself built.
So I see.
I'd be living in it still if it wasn't for my sister, but no, Delilah's getting on. She ain't the chicken she used to be, no. And she sort of wants me around to take care of things for her.
I can understand that.
Yep, she turned 65 last Monday. Lame in one leg and little deaf in one ear. Hear perfectly myself. Been hearing perfect for 77 years now. 77. Don't aim to stop.
77? I thought you said Delilah was getting on.
What's that say?
I said...
Speak up, young woman. Stop whispering.
I said you looked wonderful for 77.
Oh, yes. Feeling wonderful. That kind of irks Delilah, so I got to watch out for her. But I sure do hate the idea of sharing a house with a woman after all these years. Women just don't understand us fellas, even though she be my sister. I kind of think if I'd kept this here place, I wouldn't mind it so much. It'd give me a roof of my own, you know. Some place to get away to when Delilah starts wearing thin.
Then, Mr. Tucker, you shouldn't sell it. I don't think you should sell it at all. A man should have a place of his own, especially when he's as full of energy as you are.
Well, I could use some money, and I don't see how I can keep up both farms. Things being as are these days, and Delilah, she keeps nagging me to sell, so I put up the sign, plumb out of the blue, comes your husband. Here we are, but I ain't sold it yet.
Thank goodness. I really think you ought to think it over carefully, Mr. Tucker. Don't let Delilah talk you into something.
Nope.
People do try to talk other people into things.
Yep.
I'm sure there are other houses around my husband would like.
Yep, I sold him one.
You did?
The Leach place, little ways down the road, 9 miles.
Did he like it?
It's a big white house up on the hill. About as old as mine here, but not the same type of doll. A city folks' house.
With a long drive?
Yep.
And old trees?
Yep.
And a beautiful staircase and doors?
Yep.
And with a brook and a hill?
Yep.
That sounds more like it. That sounds like my kind of a house.
It's got all kinds of fancy plumbing into it. Waste of good money, waste.
I wonder if
My house got a spring and a well. You don't need nothing else. Just complicates things.
Tell me, Mr. Tucker, did my husband like the other house, the Leach place?
Well, yep, nope.
Now I think I understand everything.
Well, young woman, I think I'll shinny along and see what your husband has to say. Mind you now, I ain't said I'm going to sell.
Of course not.
Man's got a right to his home. Delilah or no Delilah. Women think they can make a man slow up just because they're starting to feel the cold in their bones, but no, sir.
Oh, Bluff, you beautiful dog. I'm such a goop. This isn't the house at all. David and Roger are playing a joke on me because they think I don't know anything about old houses, and they expect me to be disappointed. Well, it's simple. I'll rave about this old rickety shack, and when they take me to see the real house, I'll pretend not to like it. That'll fool them. They think they're so smart. Well, I'll outsmart them this time.
Claudia, better come inside out of the cold.
I'm coming, darling. I just couldn't take my eyes off our darling house.
Well, you see the inside. Smells a little stale, but that'll pass off. Now tell me, darling, do you really like it?
I just caught my breath.
Were you surprised?
Surprised. For a moment there, till I came to my senses, I was paralyzed.
Well, that's the way I like to hear you talk. You look so excited and pleased.
I am. I'm thrilled. I can't tell you what fun I'm having. Let's go in. Oh, the floor's squeaky. Oh, I love it. Such wonderful low ceilings, David.
It's built that way because it helps keep the rooms warm.
And look at those beautiful worn spots in the floor planks. They have such personality. And the fireplace. David, it's almost as nice as the one in our apartment.
It's nicer.
I prefer it just the way my forefather had it. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me.
Well, I must say that you...
Oh, David, that delightful old stairway. So much more charm than the big circular one down south.
Do you like it better?
It's not the same thing at all.
Well, houses like that have their place, too.
And that gorgeous old latch. Must be original.
It is. It dates back from before the house was built.
A veritable museum piece.
Well, darling, I didn't know you had it in you.
Did you imagine I was an utter imbecile?
Do you know? I think he did.
Oh, Roger, hello.
Hello. Claudia, I'll confess that David warned me that you didn't know the first thing about old houses.
Well, what I mean is...
So that's what... Oh, that's all right, darling. It's just as well for you to learn that you don't know everything I know.
She really seems to like it, Roger.
I've never been so thrilled in my whole life. Hurry and show me upstairs.
Oh, there isn't much upstairs. Now, here, notice the floors. Isn't that
I
nice?
have. They almost broke my neck.
Well, they do need a little repairing, but they are perfectly beautiful.
And here, look over here now. Now, there's some of the paneling up here. That's the original color.
We have a client who'd pay $1,000 for that strip just as it is.
I wouldn't sell it, not for all the money in the world.
Hey, watch out, watch out!
Oh! The ceiling fell down.
Oh, that's nothing. They always do in old houses.
But won't we have to pay somebody for it?
Oh, pay for it? Who should we pay? It belongs to us. At least it will.
It will?
Well, you're going to buy the place, aren't you?
Buy it? This place?
Darling, all I needed was for you to love it as much as I do.
But I thought there was another house.
There's no other house in the whole world for us now, is there?
But Mr. Tucker said
that old boy, he's a better salesman than he knows.
Then you're serious about it?
I certainly am. All I needed was the word from you. Just like you, darling. I wouldn't sell this house for all the money in the world.
What world?
I knew you'd love it once you saw it.
Me?
Hold on, you have to buy it first.
Oh, it's as good as bought.
David!
Claudia, what's the matter? You're as white as a ghost.
Shock.
Yes, shock.
I don't wonder. A lot of people don't like ceilings falling down on them.
Well, Claudia's not the sort of person who minds ceilings falling down. Darling, are you sick?
Well, I feel a
Take her down the car, David. She does look a little pale.
Don't worry, darling. Dr. Rowland said you'd feel like this sometime.
Dr. Rowland thinks I'm only going to have a new baby. He doesn't know I'm going to have an old house, too.
These programs star Catherine Bard as Claudia and Paul Crabtree as David. And the entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
From January 16th, 1948, Claudia on Classic Radio Theater. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Just remember that our programs are available anywhere podcasts are served on the internet. If you miss a day, you do not have to miss a show, but you have to be careful. Accept no imitations. Search through iHeartRadio or Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Overcast, even through Audible, through Amazon. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And please thank this radio station, support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows you to be with us here each and every day. And do visit my webpage, classicradio.stream. I'm Wyatt Cox. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite radio station.